Welcome to the 12 by 12 Junk Journal Challenge of 2024. Today we are going to be tackling some stamp tags. They're wooden tags that are then colored or painted, and then we put stamps on them. So I was really super inspired after I saw these because I'm visiting Dawn from Scrapbook Sage, and she had these sitting out and I just fell in love. And so I decided, because she said she hadn't done a tutorial for them yet, I'm going to do a tutorial because it's my excuse to make them. So as you can see, there are so many different designs she came up with. These ones are backed with old book pages and then have the stamps on top. She bedazzled them and she colored the backgrounds. Everything is just so beautiful. I love it. It's such a great idea. I'll be keeping these out for inspiration, but let's go over the things that we need to create these. Of course, you're gonna need the wooden tags, and then you're gonna need markers, or you're gonna need inks or paints. I have lace, I have a dowel, and something to hang them with, and of course, the stamps. So this is Dawn's collection of stamps, some of them. She has organize them according to theme, and I'm going to go through here and pick out one or two from each theme, and we're going to start creating. This month I am focusing on Japanese style journals, but I had made the steampunk journal last month, and so I decided this stamp was very steampunk, and I'm going to make a tag to put on that journal that's finished. Now you can't see her, but Dawn is in the background here coaching me on. She's just reminded me to use these cute little embellishments here. So the first thing she said to do was to color the piece of wood. Now I noticed that when you use the markers, it leaves these lines. So I'm going to try to minimize those by doing it both directions. And as I did this, I realized that the stamp takes up most of the wood. So in the end, when I made my other designs, I'm just going to put the color on the edges. It doesn't have to be on the full piece of wood unless you have small stamps. So I colored that, and then I'm going to use this glue stick to hold it in place, and it does not work well on wood. This glue sticks are a no for this. So but I'm just using it to hold it still while I get my design ready. And then to actually put it on the wood, I'm going to use the tacky glue. You could use glitter glue, you could use wood glue, so there's lots of choices, but I'm just trying to figure out what my design layout's going to be, and the more you make, the easier it gets. And I have a sponge here in case I want to do some edging with my inks, and I brought my distressed inks this time. I love the Tim Holtz inks, and it turns out that when you use inks instead of a marker, it bleeds into your glue. So when you put that top layer, because first you put a bottom layer and you put your stamp on, and then you put a top layer of glue so it's like sealed in, and when you do that, it might move the ink. So you kind of want to make sure that the ink is set, the ink is dry, and you don't want to move the glue over top very much, because it will color the glue, and then wherever the glue goes, when it's dry, it has those streaks of color. I am trying these 3 different colors. I did it on 3 different corners to see which color of ink is better. I'm gonna go with this green color and kind of bring out that green that's in the printed brown on the stamp. And I thought for sure I would go with the brown, but this green really actually brings it out even more. I'm gonna put a little brown on top of the green to, I think it's starting to look a little swampy. And in my other ones that I'm doing, I end up using 2 or 3 inks, and it just looks so much deeper, so much more finished and thought out. Now I'm gonna use the tacky glue, and I'm just gonna go over the top. I have not waited for the ink to dry properly, and so this is when you can see that it spreads a bit, and it definitely stains your fingers. So I end up using like a squeegee because I did not realize how messy I was going to be today. Make sure to lay down all the edges, and also on your first layer, if you're going to use a tacky glue underneath, make sure that is completely flat when it dries, otherwise it causes bubbles and bumps, which like three of the ones that I make today end up having those bubbles and bumps. And Dawn has just handed me this gold foil here, and I'm putting it on the edges, and it just adds so much character to it. I'm trying to decide which one of these colors and how many of these bedazzled, so I'm just trying to get a feeling for what she did on hers because I love them so much. And that having inspiration is amazing, but then making it your own is also important. So for me, it's very difficult to quickly pick. It takes me a long time to make these little things, and I'm always thinking maybe I should add that, maybe I should add this, and it takes me a long time to make the choices. I rather just ask them, what do you think? And then according to what they think, I can be like, no, I hate that idea, and do it my way, or oh man, that's a genius, and do it their way. So it's much easier to have a crafting partner. Now I'm going to put a hole with the dowel to put my safety pin through, and you can see that Dawn has some on the corner, some on the edge, some on the top, some on the bottom. So I'm just trying to decide what would look best with this stamp. I think I'm going to go ahead and put it on the corner here because it will help with the look, like the way that it's hanging off of the journal will look like it's kind of flying. Now, I can't decide which color of hook to do because it's got golds, it's got greens and browns and yellows. So once you have everything finished, then you just have to decide what the last little bit of embellishment is going to bring to it. And here I have chosen a silver. It looks great. There we have it. It's complete. I am in love. I made this to go on that journal, but now I want to keep it and I want to wear it as an earring. So once you start, it is pretty addicting. So here are all the ones that I'll be making for the next 2 hours, all my favorite stamps that I picked out, and I have put them according to size on these little pieces of wood that you can get on Amazon or at craft stores. And so if you start, you cannot stop. They are so cute, and now I want to make jewelry out of them. So be careful if you start. It's so much fun. Here's the ones I ended up making so far. I'm not done. So I did blues, and then I did some browns, some reds. I put these teeny tiny little postcards behind this one, and I have some ones from Russia, some fruits that I did in 4 colors. And then I have some travel ones. I even put some lace under this little stamp because it looked so gorgeous. I just loved this lace. It looked so beautiful with that cursive on there. I did a kid's story stamp from Russia. It was so fun. So I encourage you to try these out, be inspired. Check out all the other artists. All of the links are in my description, and you can get lots of tips and tricks from these other amazing artists.